changed a little bit because previously the thing was, so every one of these small buildings has a gym, right? But the thing that separates the gym and the seating area for the congregation is just one of those folding walls, those
Oh yeah.
walls. So that's like, man, I don't know what to do with all that. Hey, man, listen, anyone that's jumping on right now, we want you to know that I'm apologizing. Stephen was ready. He was ready. He was ready. I can't say we weren't ready. My computer refused to give me the sound. And so now here we are. We're sounding. And if you're still around, thank you for hanging around. Thank you. We're normally at 11:30 sharp. We're here ready to go. But we had a little bit of technical stuff. He was watching me via pushing plug-in, and I have to set the system down that it just never messes up. It just is always on time. It's always there. So sometimes I realize I can't take anything for granted. We just had a message last week from preparation, and, and there we are. This is an illustrated message that preparation is everything. And so yes, there's my preparation conversation. So but we're here today. And Stephen, how are you doing before we jump in?
Doing great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're living the dream over there. You got your stuff handled. You got your stuff down. Your sound is always clear. Everything's always tied in. You are a preparation guy. I'm normally prepared, but then I realized that there was assumption in today that I'm ready, just ready, push, plug, go. And then all of a sudden something wasn't working. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. It was, I mean, I had a lot of Zoom calls yesterday, a lot of different things. But anyway, here we are. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about, faith. I'm talking about faith. And, faith is interesting because when you read about faith or you understand faith, faith kind of comes across as just a belief. Believe. A lot of the translations say persuasion. I'm persuaded. But as I was thinking about meditating on this idea of faith, there's several scriptures that jumped up. One was that they could not enter in because they didn't mingle their desire for the promise with faith.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't enter into the rest. That's in Hebrews 4. They could not enter in. But they needed to mingle their faith with the promise. We needed to have that. So there's this other aspect that I read. I'm see if I can read this one, just a portion of it. It's the woman who comes to Jesus and she's like, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter has a demon. You got to get her set free. And it's really interesting. Her daughter's severely being tormented by a demon. And the first thing it says that, but Jesus answered her not a word. She's crying out, son of David, son of David. Jesus didn't answer. I'm thinking, man, my goodness, this is the headlines. Can you imagine what the YouTubers would do with that right there? Yep. Jesus ignores a woman that comes yelling, have mercy, my daughter has a demon. And he's just that YouTubers would have went crazy with that. But there is but she's and so she's yelling. His disciples go, man, send her away, Jesus, send her away. I mean, this does not do good with the posture.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. The disciples say, get rid of her. It's like, can you imagine? And then Jesus is like, I'm not paying attention to her. And sometimes Jesus just like, sometimes the whole story is just like wild to me. Do you ever get that when you read the Bible? You're just like, this is wild.
You're like, what? Yeah.
So Jesus is like ignoring her, and then she says, they said send her away, and so he says to her, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And so she comes to him and she worships and she says, help me, Lord, help me. Now this is really getting desperate. Lord, help me. She's coming directly to him. Lord, help me. And he answered and he says, it is not good that for me to take the bread from the children and throw it to the dogs. So this is like insulting almost. I mean, can you imagine? This is like, I'm just sitting there as a reporter. I'm just a reporter just going, oh, this is a juicy story here. This is about to be good. And then she answered in verse 27. This is in Matthew 15, verse 27. Yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from the master's table. And then Jesus answered and said to her, oh, woman, great is your faith. Great is your
Mm.
faith. So the rejections that she had didn't stop her. The feeling of being out by Jesus. I mean, she could have been mad. He ignored me. How in the world is this? But she's so desperate for her daughter that she's willing
Yeah.
to push past all of the things that we would call normal characteristics of a righteous man or righteous whatever. And so she's like, even the dogs get the crumbs. If I can just get some crumbs, I'm good. And Jesus answered,
Mm.
said, "You woman of great faith, let it be done as you desire." Now, these are two important things. Let it be done as your desire. Your daughter was here, her daughter was healed that very hour. So, there's something about faith and desire that I want to talk about today because when we look at faith, when you go into the dictionary, the first thing you'll see a little "in" next to faith, which means it's a noun. But when you read in the Webster's dictionary, I'd go to the 1828. It says that faith as a noun, and it talks about belief, persuasion, and then it has this little aspect that's really just stuck in there. It says faith, persuasion, and then it talks about um, to draw towards anything, to draw
Mm.
towards anything. So that's not just desire, that's now action. So when you are actually drawing towards something, you're taking action. When faith is just a noun, it's a belief. It's truly what it is a desire. You look up the same word, you look up the word desire, it is also this idea of belief, persuasion, a desire. It's an emotion. So we keep faith mainly in emotion, but faith
Mhm.
is literally a verb. As you read on in this Webster's, it says to trust, to be persuaded, to draw towards anything, to believe, to obey. And then it gives the Greek lexicon. The Greek lexicon in this dictionary says it is said the primary significance of the verb. So it's now the verb. So it's both. It's the noun and the verb. It's the
Mhm.
desire, but it's the action. It's the desire. So the significant primitive significance of the verb is to bind and draw or lead a rope, to be like a rope or a cable. So that's very powerful. So my desire comes, but I must tie it to something so that I can lead it, I can
Wow.
draw it, I can pull it.
Yeah.
I must tether my faith to something so that I can use that desire. I can use it, and it becomes more than just an emotion, but it ties me to something that causes me to take action. What do you think about
Mhm.
that? I just feel like that most people talk about faith and it's this noun, but we have to go past the noun and make it a verb.
Yeah. I mean, the Bible says what? Walk by faith, faith without action.
Yeah.
Um, it's so easy. I mean, I knew someone that was like, "Well, if it's the Lord will, I believe He'll give me the house," but you're not tying it to the desire tight enough where it causes you to take action
Take
to actually
action.
pursue that house. But I have
Yeah.
faith that He'll
But
give
I
it
have
to
faith.
me. But
No.
you forgot the part of where you're tying it around to
Yeah.
pull and attach them
Yes.
together to take action.
Yeah. To take action, because you have to come to that place of it's to lead or to draw
Mm,
or
yeah,
to tie yourself to it. Let it lead you or let it draw you, or you lead it or you draw it.
yeah,
Either way, it's got to be a tethering, like a
yeah.
tug of war, a pull. And there's a big attack against the book of James by specific denominations, where they're saying the book of James should probably be taken out of the Bible because it says that faith without works is dead. And so the mindset is that faith should not be a works mentality, but faith always has to be a
Hmm.
works mentality. Christianity is a works relationship with God, whether we
Yeah.
want to like it or not. Jesus had to do a work. He died on the cross for us so that
Hmm.
we would actually now have to do a work, which is to accept him. And then we have to go into all the world, making disciples, transforming the world, changing the world, giving it back to him. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. But there's an idea that because they were tying James the idea that faith without works is dead. So if you can't just have faith without works, you have to actually go to work. You have to go to
Hmm.
work. And a lot of people want something, but they don't want to work for it. They don't want to
Yeah.
work for it. Have you seen that in any of the dealings with? I mean, you have more employees now probably than you've had in the past, right? You've got more employees.
Yeah.
The work ethic, just the idea of the work ethic, that there's a lot of people that are desiring things, but they aren't willing to actually put in the work that's necessary. And maybe they don't know, they don't uh, they don't know that what kind of work is necessary.
Yeah, I think I see it a lot. I mean, people see it as a job. Some people see it as a necessity. People see it as a
Yeah,
potential career. You know, because you and I would talked about. We just gave our guy Carlos a piece of the profit. So the whole time he was working before he became a managing partner, working towards the fact of receiving profit. So he would work. So he had faith he would get it, and he attached it to that, and he would work towards it. You know, work ethic
yes,
is huge if you have an outcome to push yourself. Another example, we have one guy out sick right now. He said he's going through some pain. We have another guy here who's fighting gout in his hands, and he's just powering through it because he knows that he needs to get it done. And he also saw what happened to Carlos, him getting a piece of the profit, and he's working towards that. So it's two different people. One that is, I feel a little bit of resistance. I'm going to go and relax because I'm feeling some pain. The other one is I'm feeling resistance, but I'm going to power through it because I have a goal, because I have faith
yeah,
that one day if I keep on this, I too can get a percentage or a piece of the profit when
yeah,
they expand.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's that desire. That's the noun aspect. That's
Mm-hmm.
the belief.
Yeah.
So Jesus said, "This according to your desire, like you have what you want by faith. Your action of coming, pushing past the obstacles, overcoming the circumstances, not
Yeah.
allowing the first no to reject you, not allowing the weird looks of my disciples to reject you, not allowing me that seems like
Mm-hmm.
seemingly like I didn't hear you, ignoring you. None of that stopped you. You cried out. You kept crying out."
Yeah.
Then when they said, "No, listen, there's nothing," you said, even when I said, "No, I can't do that. It doesn't seem good that I give the food for the kids to the dogs." It's like
Man.
you didn't get
Yeah.
offended to the fact that I said, dog. It's like you didn't yeah, I called you a dog, but you didn't get offended by it. You knew that I
Yeah.
had the goods. You knew what I wanted. But you knew what you wanted most of all. You knew the desire. And I think when people give themselves to desire, they give themselves to desire. One of the things that, I was talking a couple of weeks ago about Think and Grow Rich, that Napoleon Hill, people were talking about, name it and claim it. But it's really a principle of the kingdom. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a principle of success that, Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, all of these that were fathers of establishing success thought principles. They
Yeah.
talk about the fact that it's not name it and claim it, but it's literally declaring, decreeing, and having
Yeah.
affirmation, creating
Mm-hmm.
that desire and then agreeing with that desire. Now, when you have a desire, if you don't agree with the desire, you'll never have the faith to go towards it. This woman
Yeah.
agreed with the desire she had. She was never going to let her daughter suffer this way. It was, like you said, such an urgency to it that she was not willing to allow her daughter to just be in this
Yeah.
this crippling situation. And if the pain is hard, strong enough, or if the pleasure is increased enough, then the
Yeah.
desire is going to be strong and you're going to push past anything. This is what I love about Jesus. He said, your desire, what your desire is what's getting this to be done right now. Your desire and the action that you put towards that desire
Yeah.
is the reason you're getting your miracle this very minute. And I would encourage people that are watching this that would say, I have enough desire. I have enough pain that I desire to be out
Pain.
of, or I have enough pleasure
Mm-hmm.
that I desire to go into, that
Yeah.
creates that desire, that noun of faith, that belief, that persuasion. It's for me. I'm fully
Yeah.
persuaded. But then it tethers me. I tie myself to that desire and I let that desire, like a wild Mustang, smack its tail and let it drive me into drag me
Yeah.
into this next season. I'm tying myself
Mm-hmm.
to it, and I'm going to take the faith that's necessary to go in the next season. You just finished a pretty major project. I'm working on some projects, and there's some projects that I've been working on. I've been working on different aspects of Destiny Channel for over 15 years. I mean,
Wow.
from the independent filmmaking, from all of the platform building, now to studio building, now to being distribution, and you just have to see that. People are like, why do you do
Mm-hmm.
this? What? I see something, and
Mm-hmm.
if I don't chase that, then I'm not going to actually see it. But I see something,
Yeah.
and I want to know what it's like to live in it. You ever have that? You
Wow.
know, and so you started talking about this idea last week that just dropped in you, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to chase it. Well, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean they're actually signing contracts, but you're just talking the conversation. You're
Yeah.
just going, hey, this is what I see. And then someone goes, hey, I have this. And then someone says, I
Mm-hmm.
have this. And the next, you know,
Yep.
the desire is there, but the faith starts to make the connections. And as the faith makes the connections, you're going to be moved into your next season.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
So
you said it. It's almost like the pain. I think the pain is very important. Like, oh, I
yeah,
desire this. Like, do you really though? Enough where there's agitation, and
yeah,
there's actually a pain associated with it. Like, I want to get out of this situation. I want this bigger house. That's great, but I want this bigger house because it pains me to be where I'm at now because I can't do what I feel like I should be doing with a larger space or serve or
yeah,
host people in a larger space.
yeah.
We're motivated by pain and agitation. When you feel enough pain and agitation with the desire, that's when we're actually going to be running in the faith and those two to go together to pursue what we're supposed to pursue.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen families literally that, you know, they're raising 5 kids in a one
Yeah.
bedroom apartment. And it's just like, there's nobody. I mean, you guys are becoming a good unit. And I love it. You guys are learning to work with each other. And I love this. You're learning to develop, you know, patience with each other. And you probably have, you know, the bathroom, one
Yeah.
bedroom, one bath.
Yeah.
You guys have learned with 5 kids, you know, couple, 7 people, you've learned to kind of work through some things, and that's great character building. But now there's a place where each person needs their own growth space
Yeah.
right there. Now we need to
Yeah.
believe God that you would have the ability to expand out and give your children what they need to become, you know, more than just good character. We need good character, but we need a lot of things. They need to see another level of work ethic. They need to see whatever it may be. But in order to get to that place where you are going to need, you know, you need that ranch or whatever you need, or that, you know, penthouse, wherever you live, where you can facilitate your family, you're going to have to actually bring another level of faith, which is called
Yeah.
action, the verb
Mhm.
side of it, to not just desire, oh, I want to have another place. Like you said, it has to be enough pain or enough
Yeah.
pleasure. My kids are going to
Yeah.
really enjoy their own rooms. My kids are really going to be, my daughter is this age. She needs her own space, right? You know, my boy needs his own space. He needs to be able to put up,
Yeah.
you know, football pictures, whatever it is. Well, there's a point where that pleasure or that pain has to actually become
Mhm.
such a level of desire, create such a desire to be free or
Yeah.
be in it, that it makes you move. It makes you move. You
Yeah.
tether yourself, you tie yourself to the vision,
Mm.
right? And right, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain so that people can run with it. But it also says that even though it tarries, tie yourself to it. You know, if it
Oh wow.
tarries, tie yourself to it, right? It's not going to hang out for too long. It's not going to loiter. But once it takes off,
Yeah.
it's going to take off. And you need to be tied and ready. Don't be leisurely.
Wow.
Even though it's kind of leisurely taking its time, make sure you're ready to go when it's time to go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
You know, so I love dreaming with you. I love being in this conversation. We just come in, we have a conversation, and people join us and converse with us. And we thank you. Alice is with us. Alicia is with us today. But I want you to, you know, all of us, just to continue to dream to where the desire, what Napoleon Hill said, is has to become a crystal clear, so clear that you
Mhm.
can't see yourself living without it. Now,
Yeah.
can you have a desire? I believe that this woman that approached Jesus had such a desire that was so crystal clear that there was no way she could see herself living with a daughter that was tormented by a demon. And then nor
Yeah.
could she see herself ever going another day without holding her child, who would just tolerate her, holding her, tolerate, you know, spending time talking. There was a pain pulse there. There was something there that drove this woman to go, you know what? I don't care how many, if we go back and count, I probably should go back and count and ask, or maybe, you know, ask, you know, some kind of AI, how many times did this woman get rejected? She had rejected so many times in this little
Yeah.
tiny story that we get rejected once. If you get rejected once and you're ready to quit, or rejected
Yeah.
twice and you get offended, this lady didn't get offended. She didn't
Yeah.
quit. She didn't make
Yep.
excuses. She didn't get
She got
frustrated.
rejected and insulted. Those are two different things. She wasn't just told no. She was told no and then insulted.
She was told no. I mean, the worst thing in the world is to be to be ignored by Jesus, um, rejected by Jesus and his 12 disciples that are just looking at you.
Let's be real. He called her a female dog too. Technically,
Insulted, female dog, insulted to the level of the insults.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah,
it's very brutal. Insulted her, and she's still there with her eyes full of faith and full of dream. He's gonna do this. You can do this, Jesus. I know you can do this. And then finally he's like, listen, this faith here that you're working with, this is some desire, faith, action here in place. There's no way. In that very same hour, she got her daughter back. Can you imagine the kind of joy that got her daughter back? And they sat around the table and ate and had sound conversation that night, and she laid her to bed, just sound conversation. It just, I think that if you're believing for a miracle, if you're believing for a breakthrough in your business, you're believing for a breakthrough in your finances and your body, you've got to have this kind of tenacity where it may be insulting, it may be even momentarily shameful, it may be difficult, it may be discouraging, it may have all of those elements, but Jesus is the only one that can answer your prayers, and the only one that can get you to that next level. So keep praying like it's up to him, work like it's up to you, get the job done. And when you have that kind of faith, but you've got to get to this place where your desire is so big that you push through anything. You push through every offense, you push through every fear, you push through anything imaginable, anything unimaginable, I should say. But you push through it all, and you get to that next place of victory. Anything you want to add to this? Any thoughts?
No, that was great.
Yeah, faith in action. Tether. I love the idea what the Greek was saying. So the Latin says it's a persuasion, but the Greek says it's a verb. It's a verb. So you're persuaded and you move. You're so persuaded that you have to move. You have to take action. Yeah. All right, Stephen, thank you for your patience, man. I know you have to get back in there and run the organization you have. Thanks for your patience with the sound problem, the sound issues. And
happy
I'll
to be here.
Prepared. I'm going to go listen to last week's, make sure I get the preparation right, and then I'll be ready and better prepared next week. All right, I appreciate you, bud.
Likewise, we'll see you.
Thanks, everybody.